So I wanted to introduce the way forward. Craig Nelson is our vice president. Which, if you step around the corner, you'll see him. You guys don't know who he is. Maria Chang Ward is our secretary, if she'll stand up. Thank you, Maria. Dawn in the room. Oh, okay, she's out at the table, been checking in for registration. These are awesome treasure for years and years now. Andrew Stray is our facilitator, pretty amazing. Your past president, Bill Blake, who was my executive director, who just retired. So he's playing with his kids right now. Our director one position is vacant, so we will be taking nominations for that. And along with a couple others, yeah?
Greg will put up the nomination form. The form will be,
Thank you.
it's a flip chart at the entry. Nominate people for the positions, just write them in, we'll have it up there after opening.
Mr. Nelson, would you stand up? I introduced you. This is your vice president. And Craig, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that my position, your position, and the director one position is open. So you can vote us out right now. Like, really, right now, what? Wednesday. Okay, so I guess you're stuck with us for 2 more days. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see you. Director, two positions, Bobby Linda Mulder. Bobby, there's here. And director is Dave Hedrick. I know he's here, there he is. With that, I'm gonna ask Andrew to please come up. He's got some logistics for you guys.
Okay. As you said, I'm Andrew Bay, and I've got a cold. Well, I had a cold last week and my voice is going, so I actually have to use this. Usually I'm just screaming at you like this, but this year I'm gonna use the mic so I don't lose my voice. So, I work for the Washington Conservation District. Dawn and I and Cindy helped as well put on this conference every year. So if you have any rooming issues, you go to Dawn. If you have any session issues, meeting rooms and that kind of stuff, you can meet. Or your track coordinators. Speaking of which, your name tags, the yellow ones are all track coordinators or board members. So if you see a yellow tag, you can ask them a question that will probably know, or at least know who you talked to. The blue ones like Jan and Ryan here, they're from the Center for Technical Development. Some of the track coordinators are also, I should have done like half blue and half yellow, but they're the CTD. So if you have any questions about that, please go to them. They're very handy in setting this whole thing up as well. Especially doing all the virtual stuff through Zoom. The breaks, we have a few breaks throughout the day. There'll be some juice, water, coffee, that kind of stuff in the salmon gallery right down here. Woodpecker across the way, that's admin and finance. And then whale on the end is whale, that's where the drinks are. Coffee and that kind of stuff. The rooms should all have water, especially with this kind of heat. They'll have ice water. And if you need any extra water, pick up the phone, dial 0 and say, we need more water in this room. Meals. Each one of your name tags has meals at the bottom, which meals you got. If you have an issue with those, come see, go see Dawn. Those are the meals that you pay for. And speaking of which, on the schedule, it says lunch from noon to 1. Okay, I did that intentionally. Lunch actually starts at 11:30. in the Kingfisher Hall, we did that because we don't want everyone lining up at noon and having this huge massive line. So if your session gets done early, lunch should already be going, you just walk in, you've got 260 so people going through there. So please move your way through and let other people come through. There should be labels for vegetarian, gluten-free, that kind of stuff. If you have issues with that, come talk to me and I will talk to the chef or the other people in the conference center. Yeah, please portion. The way we have it set up is you get one of each main item. Don't take 5 pork chops because we only have enough for one for each person. Okay, so if it's pork chops and salmon, take a pork chop and salmon. If you don't like salmon, just take 2 pork chops. Don't overindulge because it's a buffet. We ran out of food last year. So because people were taking too much all at once.
If there are leftovers, they can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could, after everyone comes back, after everyone's gone through, you can come back through for leftovers. Kingfisher Lodge is over here. You can sit outside if you want. It's going to be a lot of people sitting outside, even in the heat, because we have a lot of people this year. And as you can see, we're packed in here with other people out in the little lobby there. So all the rooms will be packed in, so don't. Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it. We've essentially taken over the
whole thing.
we've maxed out the limit that Sleeping Lady can do. So just be aware some of the rooms will be packed out. We've got folding chairs in the back. It will be warm. We just have to deal with it. Sorry. All the presentations will be done through Zoom and recorded. And in a couple weeks after Wade, Jan will be posting them all up online. So if you do miss a session, you don't have to listen to it while you're listening to another session. You can come back and listen to it later. Right over here is a small house on the hill to the right of Kingfisher Lodge. We call it Harriet's house. I don't actually know what it was. Harriet was the person that created Sleeping Lady. She passed away a couple of years ago. But that's her house and her husband lives there now. Do not go in that area. It's off limits to us. No glass in the pool. So no wine glasses, no beer bottles, none of that kind of stuff in the pool. Metal, plastic, that's fine, but not glass for obvious reasons. Also, if you did bring some alcohol, we're not supposed to bring our own alcohol, so do not flaunt it. Keep it in a koozie or keep it in your cabin area. Don't walk around with a 6-pack of beer and being all rowdy. If that happens, they're going to have to crack down on us. They kind of let it slide. So don't make it worse for the rest of us. So just keep it in your areas, keep it in a container, or just go to the grotto and spend a little bit of money and buy Craig a drink. Where's Craig? Or buy Cindy a drink. Yeah. Rooms. Yes. Some of you that have been here before noticed they weren't supposed to take credit cards at the front desk. Usually they would take for incidentals and stuff, and you could charge your room to it. We're no longer doing that because we got so many people coming through. So do not charge anything to your rooms. Because it will go on Wade's account and we'll probably do 100% onto that and bill you for it. But don't bill anything to room, just use your credit card. Got it? Some of the bartenders may not know that yet. So just be aware. In the window of every classroom, there's a small QR code posted there for Wade's session request form. And if you think of while you're coming out of the session and you think of another session for next year, just scan that QR code, fill out the form, and we'll have a list of classes that we can do next year. I think that's it. Took longer than I thought.
You're good. Thanks, Andrew. Get kind of an idea of our audience and kind of give others an idea of our audience as well. So I wanted to know, yes, can you have a question? Go ahead.
Like everybody huge together.
And then these people can come in? Sure. Come on in, people.
You don't need me anymore, do you?
What? Oh, we're not doing minutes yet. Yeah, move them in, Andrew. Okay, just to get a good idea, how many of you have never attended a WAVE conference before? Okay, out of those, how many of you have been at your district for less than a year? Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, how many of you have been at a district for at least 5 years? Okay. How many of you have been at a district at least 10? How many of you have been at least 15 years in? Okay, you first year, second year, start looking around, you're gonna be asking a lot of questions. How many of you have been at a district for over 20 years? Wow. All right, so if you need to know anything, we are all here to support and help each other. We use each other's information and tweak it all the time. Don't reinvent the wheel. We've probably already done it. So just ask for whatever program you're doing. Okay, thank you. So now we're going to do some updates and some reports from agencies across our state. So I'm going to ask Shauna Joy to come up, and she's going to give the commission update for you folks. On behalf of Kirk, who could not make it, who has kindly stepped in.
Thanks, Cindy. I call it Shanghai. I was Shanghai. I was Shanghai. But very happy to be here. And so many faces that I've not seen in a while, and so many new faces I haven't met yet. So for those of you who haven't met me or heard my voice on Zoom in the past years, I'm Shauna Joy. I'm the District Operations and Regional Manager Coordinator at the Conservation Commission. Means I do a whole bunch of different things. And this afternoon is going to share some updates from the commission. Now, this will not be comprehensive because I think I have about 5 minutes, right? So if anything I say is a teaser for you, I'm eager through the rest of the way. Feel free to tag me or any other commission staff and ask follow-up questions. So first, those of you who are new on the commission, you don't know this yet, but this is the moment when I get embarrassed. I remember the first time I sat in the audience, I remember quite embarrassing. So I'm going to do this quick. But I want to introduce all the commission staff that are here in the room so that you know who they are. So if I can have all the commission staff just stand up real quick, I'm going to run through everybody who I think is here. All right, so first I'm going to start with regional managers, which I have one, so I get to brag on them first, right? My baby, Jean Fike, here somewhere, she's also a track coordinator, so probably super busy right now. Josh Bully. Back, and Alyssa Carlson. Okay, that's our regional manager team, as well as myself. Our communications team, not sure if I see Paige, Sarah Wilcox, Toyo Garber, they're all here. I saw them speak out a minute ago. Our communications team here. Our finance team, Christina Hurley, Ashley Wood, Courtney Woods, Courtney is back there, Kate Uberroot, and Nicole Boyes. Okay, that's almost all of our awesome finance team, plus Sarah Groves, who's the director of that team. She's not here at WAVE, but she's still on our team. And then we've got a bunch of programs folks, may or may not be in the room. Bill Eller, Alana Rhoda Hall, Karen Hills, Bernie Cochran, Levi Kinsecker, Kate Delavan, and Paul Daniolo, and then a few folks who aren't here, including John Polk and Jack Myrick. Jack just retired at the end of April. Wow, and then there's more folks on staff who aren't here, I just want to call out. So Ron Schultz, our policy director, maybe knows struggling with some medical stuff. He's on the recovery side, he's headed in the right direction, he probably will be back with us for a little while, so we think about one. Allison Halpern is acting policy director, so we've got policy stuff, legislative stuff, and we need to reach out to someone at the commission called Allison. And also Carla Linus, is supporting our policy staff right now. We have an IT staff, Thomas Freeman, and then Lori, Keisha, and Keisha are fantastic admin team. So if you sat through these introductions in the past, you will notice that the commission is growing. After about a 2 minutes, not longer this time. We are also, Cindy mentioned Kirk Robinson, our interim executive director. Third time's the charm. He's back with us, filling in for the third time. We're so grateful to have him. But we're going through the process right now to select a new executive director. So this process is going to play out over the summer. We're hiring a consultant first to help us run this process, take a little heat off the commissioner's staff, who are doing a bunch of other things at the same time. So wait, definitely by next week. We'll have a new executive director up here introducing themselves. So keep up more news on that too. And also Jack Myrick in our water resources program, we are meeting for that position. So Jack retired. You've probably seen that position getting circulated out around there. And with the new budgets that we got, we have some new positions. So we're in the process of figuring out, like many of you do every day, who, where, when, how we're going to hire new folks. So sending out those announcements when you see recruitments open, circulate them to great folks that you know of that might be interested. So let me know the budget. There's a lot of numbers I could throw around here. And I'm not going to do the details. If you want details, grab one of the commission staff. I'm happy to talk to you, but you've probably heard numbers like $25 million for grants. Wow, that's awesome, right? On top of $30 million for air digestion. We're going to digest everyone's food in the whole same time. Which is fantastic, but okay, for $30 million, aerobic digester, $1 million for firewalls. In this particular area, we love that, right? And in other places around the state, those are just a teaser. We got a lot of other wonderful investments from the governor's office and the legislature this last time around. So fantastic. One spot where we didn't quite hit the mark, and that's with conservation technical assistance. You also may know that as your implementation grant, those flexible money. It was looking really good, it's looking really good. Get dollars and the race start fell apart right before the finish. But we're gonna go back. So we're working with WACD, we're gonna go back to the next legislative session, try to get that back to that $10 million. The signs look pretty good. The governor's office, $4 million. Supportive of us, it just didn't quite hit over the finish. So that's a preview of coming attractions for the next legislative session. There's a lot of program notes. Sustainable Farm and Field, you've heard of that program. Karen Hills is running around here somewhere. If you see Karen and have questions about SF, grab her and have a chat and introduce yourself. They have a solicitation out right now. And that's from July 14th. So if you were interested in Sustainable Farms and Fields, jot that date down. We're getting ready for our July commission meeting. And why is that important? We do this every other month, we hold a commission meeting. We've got a couple of sets of programmatic guidelines coming up that should be adopted in the July commission meeting. One of those is support community welfare resiliency funding. That guideline set is our comment for June 23rd. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those, you've got 1 more week to tell me you love it, hate it, or would like it to, because I send those out to you all. Don't hesitate to grab me while I'm here. We also have an engineering through June 23rd. So any of you, especially the managers, out there, please reply to the survey. We need to collect some more information for our commissioners to take back to them for the July meeting, where they're going to finalize these program guidelines. 3 new coming attractions on the topic of surveys, the riparian plant propagation program, RBB, say that 3 times back. Alana here, she's the program lead, so if you want, questions about plant materials, Brad Hirsch is a self-proclaimed plant nut of plants. We love her, she's great. There were that RBB and material seeds that you're going to see come out at the end of this seeds survey. We're trying to get a handle on the tree and shrub needs so that we can kind of work backwards and get nurseries on board producing what we need. So we still have that survey. And then also in August, taking for a survey on the voluntary stewardship program. It's got a few years under the belt, about time to just take a look, peek under the hood, see what. So it's ESP survey. So that was a lot of programming. The time that we got off on the commission, and because he was so confusing, figure out where everything is and what you can and can't do with which bucket of funding. We're working on the program menu or attachment, one-stop place for it'll all be the applications, the reports, the guidelines, you name it, right? So hang on, there's a lot. It's coming. Putting that together for you. Also, we're asking for your patience. I know you guys are excited. We've got a great budget. There's a lot of programs to roll out. Working on it just as quick as we possibly can. Please be patient with us. We have to close out all the great stuff that's about to end in June 30. Put a bow on that. And then start it all over again with a bunch of new programs. So your patience is much appreciated. If you need a place to vent because you're frustrated, call your regional manager. We do this all the time. Gotcha, right? You can give us a call. You don't want to miss out on any news. So if you haven't signed up for Gov Delivery yet, please sign up for Gov Delivery. That's where all the good stuff comes out. We publish a monthly called the District Digest. We also publish a monthly called the Financial Times. That's where all the goods are. Sign up. If you don't know how to sign up, grab a commission staff person and we'll help you. We don't want you to miss out on. And I think I'm going to stop there because there's a lot. If you have questions at all or comments for the commission, don't hesitate to grab me or any other commission staff while we're here. It's great to be here and talk to all of you in 3D, real people, right? Those at the moment. Sorry for those folks that I know. You're missing. Okay, let's get practice.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting about all that money rolling in, but without the technical assistance, it's pretty hard to pull it off. So I know that they're working hard to get that up for sure. So if Tom Salver will come up, he has a WACB, sorry, I said wait, update, WACB update for you.
Thank you, Mr. Spalzer.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
I jumped up those steps and halfway up, I thought, was this the time I'm gonna catch my phone and fall flat on my face?
Yeah.
But it was not, so I'm glad. Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon. My name is Tom Salzer. I'm Executive Director of the Washington Association of Conservation Districts. And I answer to he, him, and hey, you won the lottery. I haven't heard that last one yet, but I'm still hopeful. As I'm sure we all are. I'm very tired, very, very tired. I put more than 1,000 miles on the truck over the last couple of days. And then, as I'm gonna look at Zora while I talk about this. And then outside my hotel room is a beautiful little habitat feature called a man-made wetland. It's got cattails and water, and it has got a godzillion number of frogs that are riveting all night. It's like, putting that up to Zora because she's got a great little grant on urban frog habitat. So it's hard to cuss frogs and still appreciate what you're doing. So I'm tired, exhausted, really glad I'm here, right now, in this moment with you. the entire cadre of conservation leaders, including you, for the state of Washington. Nobody else is leading this charge. Nobody else is putting their heart and soul into this work every day. It's you. It's not somebody down the street. It's not somebody in another agency. You're the only game in town when it comes to voluntary stewardship, voluntary collaborative conservation on the ground with private landowners. It's you. So look around at your neighbors. You guys are it, man. It's good stuff. Last year I talked about socks and how what socks you're wearing really revealed a lot about your personality. Because nobody ever looks at your socks, right? So we all held up our legs. Look at our socks. I fooled you this year. Wear socks. Thought that would be good. I don't have to talk about funding because Sean did. Thank you so much. Huge year last year, huge wins, lots of effort. And then we doubled down and the entire team of WACD and the commission and our lobbyists really brought it here. It almost feels like too much. And it creates stress. You know, you win the lottery. Hey, you won the lottery, Tom. That's a wonderful thing, except it also creates stress just as much as getting in an accident does, for example. It's stress and stress affects us. So I want you to know, we all know this. Everybody in leadership knows it. Everybody in your district knows it, that even though you are facing huge challenges in the actual delivery of conservation programs and services, it's you. I think I'm using that word a lot. You leaders that need to take care of yourself and make sure that you're there, not just today, but tomorrow and for the long game in this. So Ken made all my points for me. I have to use, that's half my page of notes. Right? My closing comment is a bit of a downer, if you will. And then I'll introduce a couple of people. There may be some folks in our community who think, you know, I just need to do good enough, just good enough to keep my job. Just good enough to get my paycheck. There's a lot of attention now being focused on us. Big money brings laser-like spotlights on all of us in this community, from WAC down to your technician, the person at the front desk, every single individual. Good enough is no longer good enough. We are in a position now where we have to continue to excel, but also to grow. And that's why you are here. I believe to learn, to grow, to be able to do better. Associated with that, you heard a little bit from, you know, who's been here a year, who's been here, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, it's not blah, blah, blah. But those people that have been here and around the block a lot, you know, the Mike Tillmans, gotta get you. And Craig and others. Those are your peers and your teachers. You know, yeah, reach out to your regional managers. Yes, reach out to AC, reach out to your directors and Wade. Reach out to each other. Nobody on this planet knows what you go through except the other people in this room. It is a huge untapped resource. So lean on each other, lean in and learn and be supportive of each other. All right, so much for my preaching. I want to call out Jackie Gauthier. Jackie can stand up. She said she wouldn't, but Jackie is one of two of the most important people in the Plant Materials Center, and I hope she'll keep standing so you can really see her. Okay. So Jackie, between last year and this year, she set a record for sales in the Plant Materials Center for WACD, your premier natural or native plant materials source in the state of Washington and throughout the Pacific Northwest. And then you did it again. We've got a little desk down there, a little portable display, but the feature is Jackie is here. She can answer all of your questions, maybe even winning lottery numbers. That would be good. The other person is the other most important person in WACD, which is Ryan Bay. And Ryan will expand. Ryan is Renaissance man of many talents, He's unbelievable. I've never actually had the opportunity to work with an individual like Ryan. And this, I mean that in a good way this time. But Ryan is right. He loves the legislative work, he loves the political work. He's such an incredible advocate for each of you and what you do. Please take time to get to know that. And with that, I think I'll close. Buy plant materials from the Plant Materials Center. If you haven't been doing that, your purchases help us do better work for you. You may have an old experience, like, oh, look at this picture, they're like 20 years old, they just haven't forgotten it. One bad order they got. You're never gonna give us another chance, but chance, give yourself a chance, support your own Plant Materials. Thank you.
So I was gonna call up Dawn. Are you wanting to come up and give a short financial report? Which also, I believe the financial report, you can be found on that QR code for
The handout you picked up at the front left has a QR code for a downloaded full schedule. And it's, the last page is the financials. So I forgot to mention that while I was.
I thought this was a closing. Oh. I'm here. Okay, so like, sorry. Like she said, it's on your schedule, but coming into today, our bank account had $150,000 because we had tremendous participation way. We got 287 people attending Tuesday lunch, which is a big deal. We appreciate the commission and their $20,000. We have about 44,000 coming in revenues. Hard to estimate expenses, but I'm thinking 58. So after the conference, we're thinking we're going to have about 88,000 in our bank for next year, which will help with our deposits. But yeah, so we're looking good. And like I said, it's great that everybody participated. And we greatly appreciate the scholarship the commission is able to provide to us. Every district that asked for one outside of one, which was very, very late, was able to get one. And we appreciate their support of us to attend for your training. Any questions from anybody? Nope. Okay, thank you. I'd like Larry Davis, who is representing the Washington Conservation Society, to come give an update. And if any of you are not members yet, we encourage you to join. Maybe that's part of your speech.
Afternoon. As Cindy said, I'm Larry Davis. I'm an associate supervisor, Whatcom CD. About 2.5 years into associate. Prior 12 years, I was a full supervisor for the board. So I've been around conservation issues for quite a while in the conservation district arena. One of the things that I continually appreciate, not only the staff in our district, I've met a lot of staff over the years because I've attended a number of the regional WACD regional meetings in October, gotten to meet other staff from other districts and regions. I'm heartfelt. I so appreciate what every single one of you folks do. My thinking of what your responsibility is, and I stole this about 35 years ago when I worked for the state. I heard a conference speaker say, improve the campsite. I'm known for that. And I really like that term. However you define your campsite, whether it's a specific program, whether you're a policy person, which is my whole background, whatever it is, always look for ways to improve that campsite, because there is always a way, big or small, that you can improve that campsite. A one question survey, and then I'll tell you very quickly what the Conservation Society. When you ask in this room, how many is the first time you've been a sleeping lady? And the follow-up question was, how many of you were in your first year in your role? And I'd say at least 95% of the hands in this room went up. So I think I know what the answer to my question is. How many of you have heard of the Washington Conservation Society? Well, that's, okay, that's more than I expected, but it tells me we still got work to do to get the word out. The most important thing I'll tell you right now, I'll have it on a slide. This is our website, www, then all one word, .wa Conservation Society, WA is WA.org. Stuff that I'm going to really quickly walk through. You can find more information about that on our website. We're a nonprofit, small operation. Membership doesn't cost individual $35. Conservation district is 150. A partner organization is 300, and if a corporation wants to join us, that's $500. One of the things you get out of this, if you're a member, if you take a certain kind of training, some vendors will offer a discount if you're a member of a certain kind of association like us. So be on the lookout if you're taking the training that might get you a little discount by just saying, I'm a member of Washington Conservation Society. Legacy and creating a legacy. This is an online program. The Leaving a Legacy is where we honor conservation leaders who have walked on. And last year, we created a new one, which is to recognize leaders who are still with us. Think of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like any of the major sports leagues have their own halls of fame. They often will induct people who are still with us. And I talked the board into it. They agreed with the rationale. Let's try and recognize some of these folks that have been around a long time. We're not. Don't have hard criteria for doing it, but we're looking to admit the first folks for which we get nominations and do that at our annual meeting in December. So you got some folks thinking about environmental education mini grants. We do about 4. Sometimes we'll do 5. They're about $500 each. Educators to put something together. I know that we typically will support a grant for the state environthon. You'll find past reports on who've gotten a grant in past years, and you'll get an idea what you can put together, and encourage you to look that up. We do a grants through program. I think the most active district that's taking advantage is the Pierce Conservation District. When you're getting a grant and you need a nonprofit fiscal administrative agent, if you will, we provide that. If you're a member, if your district is a member, we'll take a 3% withholding out of the grant just to cover the costs that our treasurer has to deal with. And if you're not a member, it's only 5%. So encourage you to look at that. And we have 2 kind of scholarships. One's a conditional scholarship program for students who are either in college or about to graduate from high school, and they believe they're going to be ending up in the conservation field in one manner or another, and they can get up to $1,000. Modest, but it's something we believe in. And we started to hadn't had any takers yet, but we created a program to encourage tribal student teams to participate in the State Environment Program. Another hat I wear is I'm a member of the State Environment Committee, and we got to keep working on that one. I think I've got to devote some time to doing some personal visits, see some tribes, and put a face behind the words and the emails and whatnot. So that's it. There's more to do. Let me say that our website again is www.waconservationsociety.org. Always look for ways to improve the campsite. We'll all be better off for it. All right, thank you.
I'm proud to say I've been with that organization since we first started. It's pretty cool. All right, I'd like to call Jody Prout up with the State Environment stage for the evening. Thank you. She's the president of the fire.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jody Crouch. I'm Education Outreach Lead at Police Conservation District. And I'm also serving as the committee chair for State Environment. How many of you have heard of the marathon? Raise your hands. Okay, how many of you have actually participated in a marathon as a student? Anybody? Marathon is a natural resource competition for high school students. And it challenges students to think creatively and critically about ways to address natural resource challenges. And it's a great way for students to interact with natural resource professionals and get introduced to possible natural resource careers for the future, hopefully inspiring the next generation of land stewards and community leaders. So it's a really great way to get those kids connected, get them outside, just like Kevin's talk was a little bit ago, way to get that students out interacting with nature and planting the seed hopefully for natural resource careers. So we have a committee of safety that meets once a month, and it's supported by staff and American members and then representatives from other organizations like WACD or Washington Conservation Society. So we meet once a month, work towards putting on regional competitions that happen across the state. And that all goes into then a national competition, or sorry, a state competition that happens in May. The winning team from the May state competition will then go on to represent Washington State in the national competition in July. So this happens every year. We're always looking for ways to think creatively. Students, teachers, and advisors. A lot of the kids that do come out are either part of the Future Farmers in America, or they're in an environmental club or science class. So just like Larry talked about, we're trying to engage with the tribes to try and get some of those students more involved. So it's a great way just to get those students out of the classroom and interact. So we just had our state competition. The end of May was hosted by Pierce Conservation District on the Key Peninsula. And 11 teams competed. Those were winning teams from the regional competitions, as well as the winning team from their conservation district. So any team that wins from a conservation district is eligible to then go on to the state competition. So maybe a little incentive if you are able to plant the seed to schools in your region, that there is a high chance you could go to the state competition. So we had it, just at the end of May, and Walla Walla High School was our winners for state. Incredibly exciting. It was very. We received a grant last year through the National Environment Foundation of Diversity Grants to engage with high school students and high schools to try to recruit some of those groups to come join us for Environment. And Walla Walla, one of those, seed an advisor to debates and took their kids, is now taking their kids onto the national competition in New Brunswick, Canada. And they'll represent Washington State along with 53 other teams in July. So super exciting. And you know, when I went up and asked them after, I was like, okay. And it was the conservation district. So Renee at Walla Walla County, she was a big player in helping plant that seed. So took an hour or two about soil, and they got the highest scores of the day on soil. So, and they talked to Fish and Wildlife, a lot of other national research professionals nearby, and just an hour or two of their time really helped those students get inspired and driven to compete. So, it's a really cool program, and it is supported through a couple of different funding sources. We are considered a nonprofit. Kind of arm of the commission, so we're kind of under the commission's wing, but we're technically a nonprofit. So we're supported financially by the commission, by WACD. They've generously donated $5,000 this year, and then the Washington Conservation Society get a mini grant from them every year. But our budget, so really we're needing all this money so we can help send that team to nationals. And like you all know, the travel costs have just exponentially gone up. So we are working to fundraise to get more of that financial help to help send those students to the national competition. Hence, Environment, which will be tomorrow night at the Grotto at 7:30 p.m. And if you've not participated in Environment Trivia, it is super fun. I am really jealous of you all. I want to participate this year. It's really fun. It is a fundraiser, so we do ask that if you'd like to participate, it's $20 for staff or supervisor, $5 for AmeriCorps and interns. So we hope maybe the staff and supervisor will help those interns in AmeriCorps. We asked for teams of 5, so teams of 5 can participate in all first come, first serve. So get there early, stake your table. We'll take as many people as we can fit, but the Grotto can only hold a certain limit there. We'll go through 4 rounds of trivia, and it's being hosted by Ryan Bay. Thank you, Ryan, for being our host for tomorrow night. We'll do 4 rounds, one on world geography, another one on weird plants. Washington pop culture, and then finally, are you smarter than environmental students? So brush up on your trivia, teach your mind thinking. The winning team from each round will get a round of drinks from Washington, from the Washington State Environmental Committee. We'll pay for a round of drinks. And then the winning team overall will win the jackpot of donated items that we have of various things you can come up and what you'd like to take. And a really sweet trip. So you can house at your resort. So yeah, please come check, cash, credit card. Get your friends together and join a team of 5. If you have any questions about Environment or one-on-one, you can come talk to myself or any of the committee members. We also will be doing an Environment roundtable at the Eco Track tomorrow at 2:30 in the playground. So you're welcome to sit down that if you like. So, and then just final announcement on the agenda, that Environment election that will not be happening. You're planning on something. All right, thanks so much.
And I do think that in past years, we've done big prizes in first place, but didn't we do second place and third place? The first place kind of gets a pick, and then the next one gets the next pick. A lot of us brought donated items to choose from. Not all are adult beverage related, but most and many are. So we might need to check some of your IDs, not picking out anybody in particular. Okay, I want to call Jan Thomas and Ryan Williams for a CTV activities update. Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ryan Williams with Cascadia. I'm also the co-chair of the Center for Technical Development. We've got Jan Thomas here. She's also been helping coordinate this conference with everybody else. We have Bobby Lindenmulder here, another member of the leadership team, and then trying to think of who else here. Sitting right next to each other. So anyway, so we have a few members up here. We have the blue tag and one like 4 or 5 of us here today. But I wanted to just kind of, since there's a lot of new hands, I don't know how many people have heard of us for today. All right, cool, that's a good number. For those of you who haven't, we're a group of conservation district employees. We've got together over the years to try to put forward increased training opportunities for staff, initially around technical issues like farm and riparian and forestry and that kind of thing. But over the last 2 years, we've also been doing quite a bit of other trainings. You'll see things on Lake Comet and other cool acronyms that I can't remember at the moment. But basically, we've been trying to create more opportunities for district staff to get training that's specific for us. A lot of trainings are kind of general or don't really take into our type of work. And so we have a website, it's lawctv.org. We have a lot of resources there, we have recorded trainings, we have a new employee section that has info on, signing up for email lists and helping you figure out how to sign up for ActLearn, all kinds of other stuff. So if you're new and you haven't checked that out, I would really recommend it. It has a lot of great information. We also, we do a lot of work, we host planner forums. So we have a whole bunch of different forums that are about every quarter. And we have different topics like plant sales, riparian, farm, dairy, cover crop. There's a building better for leadership and management. That's what we call building better leadership and management of. And then we also we've had a forestry one, but we're tweaking it a bit. We're kind of updating it for a wildfire and forestry, because there is quite a lot of people who work in the wildfire realm, and there's a lot of things coming down the line. And so we are kind of restarting it. We have lost our coordinators. We're trying to re-kickstart it. There's on the table, you'll see there's a poster kind of right as you walk up the stairs in here. A sign up if you want for more info on that. Let's see, what have we been doing this year? Mostly it's been keeping the planner forums going. We've been working to try to bring some NRCS trainings, try to get seats for you guys to go to Conservation Planner Part 2. And there's going to be, we've been planning some ones that's going to be that course is what, in 2 weeks. If you haven't, probably all pulled up by now. We have the riparian consideration course in Pullman in July. I don't know if sign up for that yet, so we'll soon. That's a partnership with NRCS. And then you'll also see there's a lot of other random trainings throughout the year. The big thing for us moving forward is we convinced the commission to help fund another staff person to really devote towards providing training for you all, having that resource available and trying to put on more opportunities, because sometimes these opportunities happen once, they just happen to be the wrong week for you. We don't want you to have to wait a full year or two to find it again. And so that's like the most exciting thing for us, and we'll be working on finding somebody to help with that. Maybe within the district world, maybe not. We'll see where things go. Yeah, we are having long games tonight out in the big open field back over there. There may or may not be that will show up out there. But it may not be, who knows over here. Anyways, okay, thank you. More about when we find this stuff blue tags.
Nelson, but I also wanted to make another type of announcement. No one is going to be allowed to leave the weight conference until we have every track filled for next year with people to lead those tracks. It didn't happen last year, and boy, were we scrambling. So this year, you guys are all signing up for track sleep. Well, so Mr. Nelson, the VP here, is going to be.
Giving out money,
Woo-hoo! Can I be your Vanna White?
Amazon gift cards
Yay.
and certificates for Employee of the Year nominees. So, and I figure since everybody else took extra time, I get to take extra
As
time.
much
I mean,
as-
I'm sure the 3 o'clock sessions are boring
No,
anyway,
there's
so.
3:30, sorry.
3:30? Oh, we got lots of time. Okay, everybody sit back, relax. I know it's nice and cool in here. It feels really good. Okay, yeah. Okay,
Boy.
all right, so if I call your name, please come on up and stay up here after we give you your certificate, because one of these 14 nominees is your Employee of the Year this year. So thank you all for submitting nominations. If the person is not here, somebody from that district or their regional manager or somebody like that could come up for them, that would be wonderful. Okay,
Oh, scoop back.
am I too loud? I'm the opposite of Ken. Well,
It's like this.
Oh, no.
so
No, that's
what we're gonna do,
Bubba tea.
I don't,
You don't have
I
one?
don't have bubble tea in here. Yeah, you'll have to ask Cindy about bubble tea, the first time she met me. Okay, all right, so, yeah, you wanna help hand these out?
I'd be more than
Okay,
happy.
all right, so I'm gonna let you hand out the money.
Oh, ooh.
All right, each person gets, oh, and if somebody doesn't come up to claim the certificate,
We
I think
get.
we get to share the 25, okay, good, $25 gift cards. Okay, all right, first one up, and these are in no particular order. Tom Salter, who I just saw leave, so Ryan, who, by the way, this is the most casual I've ever seen a man dress. I saw him from out in Holland, I took a picture. So, all right, there you go, Mr. Tom. Thank you very much. All right, okay, Taylor Scott, Skagit Conservation, is there. Here, she knows Cindy will take it. Sorry, okay, Stacy Dixon, the host. I'm from Okanagan,
You have
that's
to
my
be
excuse.
pushed up here.
There you go,
Look at that.
yeah, there. Okay. Don't worry, I'm only gonna make one of you see. So, okay, all right, Renee Hadley, all along. All right. Hey, look, you got a gift card out of it, so it's worth coming up on stage, so we won't tell Renee. Okay? Renee, it didn't happen. Okay, all right, here we go. Nick Schneider, Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Bill Blake, Sagittarius.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Chevelle Yackel, Okanagan, CDA. I had to do the meeting box a few minutes ago, he was trying to leave, to get her track ready, and I told her, turn around, go sit down. Thank you, Chevelle. Dawn,
Come on.
Bikini. Jack Myrick, State Conservation Commission. You are moving much better. These look like they really, okay. Kim Kohler. Cassandra. Huh? Okay, thank you. Lorna Miss, King Conservation. This is really cool that we're all packed in here like Portwood. I know she's uncomfortable, but there's been a couple of years where it hasn't been quite so full, so this is all. Poor Lorna has a long way to go around there. How we go? Yeah. Marissa Newby, Mason. Matt Phillips, also from Mason. I love each other at the Mason seat. Great. And last but not least is the guy you've all heard today, Andrew Fay, Watkins speaking. And I have paper clips up here, you all want to keep those things together and everything. So the committee, by the way, was Miss Bobby Lindemulder and Mr. Dave Pedrick and myself. And we used a highly technical system of scoring. Might have been beer involved, might not have been, I don't know. I can only speak for myself. But this year's winner, Cindy just finding out for the first time. is Ms. Taylor Scott. Thank you, everybody. But there's one thing, there is a change to the schedule, I forgot to mention. You notice that for all department reports, NRCS was not here. Our state conservationist, Roy Lean, has, I'll say this because they're not here right now, she's babysitting right now. For the chief of NRCS, Chief Crosby is in the state, and he will be here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. You want to have coffee with the chief at the dining hall at 8 o'clock. So everybody's welcome. Come, ask questions, give them a bad time, tell them how great NRCS is, tell them how they need to change their programs, how they need to give more money to districts, all of the good things. And if you need more talking points, see Mike Tobin or myself, we will get you loaded up. Okay, great. About an hour.
About an hour.
So,
Well, thank
thank you all.
I contribute beverages. Let me know.
No clue. Heck yes. We're thankful.